Hey, welcome to the Greenwood Film Festival 2025. We are here and we are with
Legin.
Legin. Legin is here. He got a film today. This is a fatherhood series, man. We are excited because we got a lineup of just fatherhood films. But we want to dive into your film and just dive into your story.
Thank you, bro.
Because I'm excited. I was excited. Thank you for submitting your film to the festival, man.
Thanks for receiving it.
Yeah, it was exciting because, like I tell people, we don't really like have a starting program in the sense of like, okay, we're gonna do this, It's really what people are creating.
For sure.
So it was dope to see like all these fatherhood films come in, and then when I seen your film, what excited me about it was the transparency that you had as regards to how your upbringing and that missing part. Because oftentimes the vulnerability aspect.
Yeah.
So what was it for you that allowed you to start getting vulnerable about, your upbringing, lack thereof of father and all that, that's the whole dynamics of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I appreciate you, man. Just want to start off with, I appreciate you putting this on. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing, man. It's a privilege. I'm a communicator, so I'm a full-time artist and speaker. And I've learned that transparency is the greatest connector. It's a phrase I live by. Transparency is the greatest connector. When you let your guard down, it gives somebody you talking to the permission to do the same. So I've always had this position of let me share something about me that's vulnerable, that's raw, that I don't want to share first, so that I can build trust with you. You can receive from me, I can learn from you, all that stuff. So when it came time to shoot the film, it was just like, I mean, it's what I do anyway. I tell stories on stage that I'd rather keep to myself. I tell them things I messed up, mistakes I made, feelings I had, like embarrassing stuff. As a man in culture, you don't want to let your emotions out. I'd be like, man, I was feeling like this, felt like a loser. I'll tell that stuff, not because I enjoy it, but because I think it's gonna help somebody.
Yeah.
So the film kind of just naturally came out of that transparency.
Man, that's deep. So I was thinking about, because I usually do these interviews. When we do interviews and we do things, it's like organic. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have a lot of questions because I go off what we already have, because I think that's the best thing. But last night I was thinking about it, and one question that came to me was, with your father's situation, the absence there, all this, what was one of the darkest moments where you was like, man, I wish I had my father here right now?
Man, honestly, bro, it was what comes to mind is my mom sheltered me from him. He would call here and there drunken. She would intercept the call, but like, I'm not letting you talk to him like this, Because she also protected, she never spoke ill of him either. So she kind of didn't want him to call drunk and me to be 7 and like, what does this mean? Like but one time he got through and he made this promise. He was like, I'm coming to pick you up on this day. I bought a cherry red Mustang. I'm going to, we're gonna make up for lost time, pack your bag, all this stuff. So I waited by the door all day. And my mom waited with me because she knew I had to experience the heartbreak that was coming, but she didn't want to step on that. She didn't want to tell me he's not coming. So she waited with me all day. And then when he didn't show and I was like, he not coming, is he? She was like, nah, he's not coming. And like that heartbreak. And so it's a twofold answer to your question. That was kind of the moment when it turned into, all right, well, F you too then. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I went from like hoping my dad's gonna come to, oh, okay, this is who he is. Now my heart's starting to harden. But that also was the moment when I really wish he would have showed up. So that I really wish my dad was with me right now.
Man,
but the fact that he's not here at this moment when he said he was coming did something deep to me dramatically.
Man, and I think that's a segue into, like, I think about my own experience. I remember, and because I'm gonna segue back and tell you, so you get I'm a context the question, my next question.
No doubt.
I remember being with my ex, and she was in Toronto, and I remember us getting into an argument, and the wildest thing happened, right? She's arguing, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, yo, this is my dad.
The way she was coming at you?
The way she was, I'm saying, like, because I grew up, he was abusive, he was a certain type of way.
Okay.
But when I looked at her, how she was moving, of course it's not my dad, you know what I'm saying? The spirit of how she was moving.
Yeah, it just triggered you, took you back.
Yeah, I was like, yo, this is how he move, like this is that. And it tripped me out, it bugged me out, because I'm like, how am I attracted to
to
that dysfunction, right?
Yeah.
So like, is there any like spaces where like that moment that you talked about like affected you and you maybe didn't notice it and it was in relationships, it was here,
Yeah.
and then you caught it and was like, oh, what is that? Like, I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even put it on anybody else. I can put it on me, but like, I started to make decisions I wasn't raised to make. Like I wasn't a street dude. I'm not a a street guy, or whatever. But like I started to run around, started to seek solace in women, like trying to do, and I started to do things that could result in me now creating the broken home I grew up in. You know what I mean? And I remember even with I remember even with my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, before we was living for the Lord, was, not living right.
Yeah.
And I remember even saying to her, like, hey man, you get pregnant, we gotta abort that thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Coming from a guy who wished his father was dead, and that's no shade to anybody's journey, but it was just like, I remember my first thought was, I ain't dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? And so it just was like, I could see remnants of the same brokenness that my daddy did to me, that I was now willing to risk doing to my own kid.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
So I notice it in me. I don't put any fault on anybody else.
I
take accountability for what.
Yeah,
because I wasn't. Somebody said when you get hurt by somebody, it's not your fault, but it is now your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It's not my fault what he did to me. It's not my fault I was angry. It's not my fault I was hurt. But it's my responsibility not to perpetuate and go and live out of that hurt.
Man.
I gotta go. It's not fair that I have to go find healing for something you did. But it's my responsibility to go find healing so I can live a healthy life.
Don't be stuck in that space.
So that's why I take responsibility for it.
Man, that's deep. And I guess that leads me to my next one, is that was there any spaces where, because I did this, like went through the abusive situation with my dad and never got that, that apology that I was looking for, that, the validation of what you think.
For sure.
So
sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah. So appreciate that. So was that a part of your journey or anything? Like, because I know, like, far as you a man of faith, you know what I'm saying? And, but was there any like closure? Has there been any like reconciliation? Has there been like, okay, like, that's kind of what I was looking for. Like in your mind, you was like, that's kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah, I did get it, and that's part of that's what the movie's about. Honestly, we're trying to tell a story that forgiveness is freedom. Can you, if you let go what was done to you, can you then be all that God has for you to be? That's the question we're asking and trying to answer for people, and get them the encouragement to seek that. I did get the privilege of having some resolve around that, but it was very much at the last finish line. Like if I'd have held on to my bitterness for one more week, it would have been too late, kind of stuff. And what I learned, man, is I try to talk to people about forgiveness. I've had the privilege to go to schools and prisons and all this to talk about forgiveness. And what I've learned is, man, a lot of people struggle with forgiveness because they feel like forgiving means they won't get any justice.
That's bars right there.
You know what I mean?
That's bars. No, that's bars, because that's I think that's a heavy thing in the Black community. Me and my wife had that conversation. It's like, we feel like, okay, if we forgive, it's like, nah, we absolving somebody. And sometimes some people think that. It could be a mindset, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a quote, and I'm gonna misquote it because it's been resonating with me for a few weeks. I think it's Baldwin. I'm not sure, but I think he said something about to be Black in America is to be in a perpetual state of rage all the time, right? And it's something about that. And like, I understand that he's saying an awareness of what's happening, what's been done, what's still happening, all of that. But to be in a perpetual state of rage doesn't sit with me. I don't want that.
Yeah, it will eat you up.
Yeah, it eats you up. And I guess is, for me, without the gospel, without forgiveness, it makes sense. I understand it. I'm not knocking nobody, but I don't want that for me, right? And so I think forgiveness, what I've learned in talking about forgiveness is you have to separate. I think forgiveness is in 4 steps, right? And so I think 2 of those steps is forgiveness and justice, right? And I think if you can separate forgiveness and justice, you can handle them separately. So that means if you wrong me and I need you to make it right, I need the apology, I need the closure, but you don't give it to me. You don't think you did wrong, you whatever. My ability to forgive you doesn't absolve you of the right for you to bring justice to me. Forgiveness for me is simply letting the debt go. Right? It's you owe me.
Ooh, so it's like one like a is it let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you think it's like almost like a person feeling like they could bring their own justice? We know justice is coming.
It's coming.
But a person saying, you know what, I'm gonna bring justice in my heart to put you in this place, or however, is it taking it into your own hands?
It's whether not necessarily. It's whether justice needs to come, and if it doesn't come in this life, it's coming in the next, right? We know that.
Yeah.
But like forgiveness is, if you don't apologize or do what you need to do to make this right, because I'm holding on to my unforgiveness, I'm not okay until you do what you need to do so I can be okay. So forgiveness is simply saying, you know what, whether you say sorry or not, I'm letting this debt go.
That's it.
And I forgive you of this debt.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean you shouldn't still pay it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I shouldn't still take you to court. It doesn't mean you shouldn't still say sorry.
Yeah.
And I hope you do.
Yeah.
Because without that,
Yeah.
we really can't get to the next stage, which is trust and then reconciliation. We can't get to that.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if I can separate forgiveness and justice, they say somebody passed on, right? And you never had that conversation with them.
Yeah.
Do I not have to walk with unforgiveness the rest of my life?
Nah.
No, I can just, I'm letting the debt that I wish you would have paid me, I'm dropping it.
Because and that's perfect, because when I think about when you said, I remember after that situation with my my ex, I was in a situation where I had to, okay, why is this happening? And then I had wrote, one of the first things I wrote, an open letter to my dad. And it was being able to say those things. He was still alive, but it was be able to say all those things that I couldn't say in the conversation.
Bro. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And that literally, that was my forgiveness space, and it allowed me to get free.
That's good, bro.
And I saw like the result of the blessings that came, that was like blocked up behind that thing. It just like the floodgates open. I was like, oh snap, like this was what it was. And even though, like you said, even though you want that, you don't get it. So how would you speak to a person that's like,
so good, bro.
that's like that get confused with the forgiveness and justice? Because I looked it up one time in the Bible saying like pardon, like you said, pardon. Like you owed it, bro. I got the receipts, bro. You owe this.
Yeah.
Like, what would you speak? How would you speak on that? Because do they owe the person? Do they owe the person, or do they owe Elohim? Like who do they owe?
Both.
Both.
Okay,
yeah, both.
The repentance piece is, I mean, even Christ is talking about it. He's like, you got an issue, go and repent to your brother, or they repent you, whatever. He's talking about the whole repentance piece. He's like, change your mind, right? You need to turn from this thing.
Yeah.
So like that, you do owe. If I mess up, I can't just be like, God, I'm sorry, and never tell you I'm sorry, because that means I ain't really sorry to God for real. You know what I'm saying? Because how can I love God who I haven't seen, but I can't love my brother who I can? If I got to go to God with repentance, I definitely got to come to you because I can see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I believe this is necessary, then I'm going to, if I love God with all my heart, mind, soul, and strength, I'm going to love my neighbor as myself. I got to do the same thing. So yeah, you got to do both. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now, I think we got to give people grace and time. So like if somebody is struggling with pride or narcissism or whatever, and they just got to the point where they can go to God and say I was wrong, I can't expect them to come to me the next day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So man, look, take your time. But I'm gonna keep, now that I see you trying to change, you've earned a little bit of my trust, and I wanna open the door just a little bit for you to come in here when you get right. So I think you gotta do both.
No, that's deep. Have you ever seen the movie Exhibit and Forgiveness?
I don't think so, no.
Man, check it out. It's not a promo for them or nothing like that. But it's a scene in there that was very good. That what happened was, it's like the mother did this thing where she justified the father's actions. And sometimes like it's almost like the son wanting to really dive in and talk about it and to unpack it. But it's almost like, no, well, he did the best he could. But it's like, for sometimes it's not good enough. It's like, it's almost like a cop out for taking responsibility.
For sure.
What's your thoughts on that? Because I remember the wildest thing happened to me. I met this homeless guy, and that's what he kept saying, that he had lost his family, he was drinking, and he kept saying he did the best he could, but he wouldn't take responsibility. So what's your thoughts on that angle? Because some men are like, you know, it can go either way. It's one way is like, I'm not gonna really look at what really happened.
Yeah.
The other way is like, well, I'm just gonna, you know, go somewhere else with it. So speak on that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's both and maybe it is true that you did the best you could.
Yeah.
But that doesn't excuse you for the good you didn't do. That doesn't excuse you for not recognizing the fallacy in yourself to where like, hey, this is all I know to do.
Yeah.
I need to heal. I need some mentorship. I need another man to show me how to be a man here because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So if you hurt somebody with the best you know how to do, you still gotta own that. It doesn't. It's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Maybe it is true.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it doesn't seem to be true.
Yeah,
Most of the time, it's I did the best I could with the stuff I was willing to deal with. But if I still was gonna go out here and do this and chase hurt and all that stuff and it hurt my family, you still at fault.
Exactly.
So like I lean on the cop out side.
Yeah.
But I know for a lot of people sometimes it's a subconscious cop out.
Yeah.
It's a childhood trauma cop out.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to tap into the wealth of what God has put in us to get better and to not be conformed, but to transform our mind. You know what I mean? So like I get this. Some people are stuck there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, if you did it and you didn't handle your business, you're not gonna grow any further until you own.
Yeah.
I did do this. That's all I had, but that's what I did.
Well, so definitely.
It's a cop out for me.
So maybe I got two more questions for you. One is, what do you think overall is happening to this generation right now? What do you think is going on in this generation when it comes to fatherhood? Do you think, like, what do you think the state of fatherhood is right now? Because we went to, before it was. I seen somebody post this on social media. Before it was okay, black men ain't fathers, right? And then it was, and not that the mainstream says anything about what's really going on, is because it's not always the temperature on the street, right? Sure. But then it also goes to, well, he here, but he doing too much, right? With the Shador thing and all that stuff that was going on. So, but what do you? The Shador, as far as like Deion Sanders and all that stuff. Did you hear about that? Okay, so basically, people are upset that Deion is too involved in his life and trying to help him with decisions and stuff like that. Like, so if a father is in a position, it's like, like you helping too much, you trying to put too much on him. So people feeling some kind of way about that.
Okay.
So it's like, well, basically the narrative is, okay, well, when you ain't here, you should be involved, but then when you're here, you're doing too much, you're overbearing, you're doing this.
I see. Okay.
That type of situation.
Yeah,
what you feel in your spirit about the state of fatherhood right now?
For me, I just feel like we just don't have a good understanding of what family and fatherhood and marriage, any of that is. Like, we got people right now that's like, man, right now in this generation, don't get married, just do what makes the most sense for you. Like, there's an anti-marriage stuff. And we coming from 3 or 4 generations of really broken home, post-sexual revolution. Like, we really don't understand fatherhood, manhood, womanhood, marriage. We just don't have a good grip on it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's this fatherhood thing is like, yo, pay the bills, be the man. If you got emotions, tuck them. You got to make sure you provide.
Yeah.
All that's cool, but like, men don't have a space to breathe, be vulnerable, to talk, to process feelings, to go to therapy. So I don't know, man. I just feel like we just have a bad understanding culturally about the family as a whole, and that includes the fatherhood role.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we lost, and then I feel like we grasping the straws about what we think a father and a mother should be.
Yeah, making up our own definition.
Making up our own, we're redefining everything, because whatever's true for you is true for you. So you can just 2 + 2 is 5. Well, I guess that's true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't believe that on certain things.
Yeah.
We only, it tends to be like the truth is subjective, only tends to be about morality. You know what I mean? It doesn't tend to be about, nobody out here says 2 + 2 is 5. That's okay because you believe. Everybody's like, no, that's no. So like, we don't believe that. But when it comes to moral things, family things, stuff that we don't want to be held accountable for, it's subjective now.
It's subjective.
So that's, I feel like we do that with fatherhood.
Yeah, and I think it's getting more like this. So this closing question is, what would you hope people get away from Legendary? Like, what would be the closing thought that you would hope people walk away from it with?
Yeah, I feel like the closing thought I want is, forgiveness is freedom, and God can turn everything around. That's what I want people to walk away with. And like I said, I'm glad you put it in the fatherhood category, not the faith category, because I don't want to target a faith audience with this. When I write my music or my messages, I'm thinking about somebody who does not hold my worldview.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, if you don't hold my worldview at the end of this, I failed. Nah, I'm very much want to take the message of the gospel out there. But what I'm praying is, if you don't hold that worldview, that you step away with gospel principles, knowing that forgiveness is freedom. Yeah. And ultimately that leads you to, is God to turn everything. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's it.
And if somebody doesn't leave the film with a faith-based perspective, I pray they leave with a healthy one.
That's right. That's it. So you heard it right here from Legin. We are here at the Greenwood Film Festival, 5th annual. So we here. You're gonna check out his film. Probably by the time you see this, it already done played. But you can check out Legin, and you can find his information on our website. And we out of here.
Oh, and it's Legin, Legin. Nigel backwards because God turned my life around. So
That's it. You heard it. All right, we out.